The sun barely rises in Yakutia during the depths of winter. A pale, weak light stretches across the frozen landscape, reflecting off endless fields of snow and ice. Temperatures plunge to an unimaginable -71 degrees Celsius, a cold so intense it steals the breath from your lungs before you can even think. Here, in the farthest reaches of Siberia, life is not just difficult. It's a battle against the elements, a daily test of resilience and ingenuity. Ivan wakes before dawn. He is a welder by trade, but in winter, survival takes precedence over work. His family sleeps in their tightly insulated home, 7 daughters ranging from toddlers to young adults, each swaddled in layers of wool, down, and fleece. Outside, the world is silent except for the occasional crack of ice under its own weight, a sound both eerie and familiar to those who live here. The first challenge of the day is water. At -71 degrees Celsius, pipes cannot function. Any exposed liquid freezes instantly. Ivan dons his heavy Arctic suit, layers of thermal clothing, and a thick fur-lined hood that shields his face from the bitter wind. He steps out into a world that looks like a crystalline wasteland, each breath forming a frozen cloud that lingers for seconds before dissipating. His target is the garden, where giant blocks of ice, remnants of summer water, are stored. These ice blocks will be broken down into smaller chunks to melt for drinking, cooking, and washing. Every movement is deliberate. Even the simplest tasks require immense care. Fingers can freeze within minutes. Skin exposed to the air can crack and bleed in moments. Ivan's daughters assist him, moving blocks of ice from the snow-laden garden into the house. Inside, the ice is placed over small stoves or heated containers. Melting ice is painstakingly slow, yet every drop is precious. Water is life, and in this climate, it is more valuable than gold. Heating is another relentless challenge. The family's home is insulated with thick walls, double layers of windows, and heavy doors, yet at -71 degrees Celsius, even the smallest draft becomes dangerous. They rely on a combination of wood stoves and coal furnaces. Fuel must be prepared in advance, cut, stacked, and kept dry despite the biting cold. Without heat, life outside the walls of their home is nearly impossible. And even inside, the temperature hovers perilously close to freezing if the fires falter. Meals are carefully planned. Fresh vegetables are scarce in winter. Meat and preserved foods dominate the diet. Frozen meat must be thawed over the stove or in warm water before cooking, a process that takes hours. The kitchen becomes a central hub of activity, not just for nourishment, but for warmth. Steam rises from boiling pots, fogging windows and creating a temporary pocket of comfort against the Arctic chill. The family eats quickly and efficiently, for lingering too long in one spot is dangerous. The cold creeps in through every crack, every seam in clothing, every corner of the home. Every household task is amplified by the cold. Washing is a ritual of endurance. Water, even after melting, is scalding when heated for bathing, because lukewarm water freezes on contact with skin almost instantly. Baths are short, calculated affairs. Clothes are layered, removed one at a time, and replaced immediately. Laundry is hung indoors to dry over stoves. Outside, it would freeze solid in minutes, turning soft fabric into rigid ice. Travel outside the home is dangerous. Even a few meters can be life-threatening without proper clothing. Ice forms on eyelashes, eyebrows, and hair within seconds. Any exposed skin turns red, then purple, then numbs. The family rarely ventures out unless necessary, fetching supplies, tending to essential chores, or visiting neighbors. Vehicles are essential but temperamental. Engines must run continuously, lubricants must be specially formulated, and fuel lines cannot freeze. The cold does not forgive mistakes. Children, despite the harsh conditions, adapt. They learn to navigate snow and ice, to conserve energy, and to recognize the subtle signs of frostbite. Schooling is adapted to the environment. Many lessons occur indoors over stoves or around heaters, with occasional supervised outdoor activities when temperatures permit. Curiosity and play exist even here, but the Arctic imposes strict limits. Imagination replaces open fields. Storytelling, games, and music fill the gaps where nature restricts movement. Work outside the home is arduous. Ivan, as a welder, must maintain equipment in extreme conditions. Metal behaves differently in such cold. It becomes brittle and shatters easily. Sparks from welding freeze instantly, and machinery requires constant maintenance. Yet work cannot stop. Survival depends on maintaining infrastructure, power, and heating. Community cooperation is vital. Neighbors check on each other, share fuel, and assist with critical tasks. In such a landscape, isolation can be fatal. The environment itself is both majestic and merciless. Snowdrifts can swallow fences, cars, even small homes. The sky is often a brilliant blue, sun low on the horizon, reflecting off endless white, but storms are frequent and deadly. Winds howl across the frozen plains, carrying ice crystals that sting the skin and obscure vision. In such conditions, navigation requires skill and experience. A wrong turn can be the difference between life and death. Even food preservation is transformed by the cold. Meat freezes outdoors, naturally refrigerated by the Arctic air. Ice cellars are constructed to store vegetables, grains, and other perishables. These cellars take advantage of the deep freeze to keep food edible for months. Every item is accounted for, rationed carefully, for supply lines are not always reliable. Emergencies demand preparation, and the slightest oversight can result in disaster. Night in Yakutia is long and brutal. Darkness descends early, the temperature continues to plummet, and the wind carries a biting chill that penetrates even the thickest walls. Families huddle around stoves, sharing warmth, stories, and occasional laughter. Sleep is precious but challenging. Bedding must be insulated, often with multiple layers of blankets, fur, and specialized mats. Even indoors, the cold persists, a constant reminder of the environment beyond the walls. Yet life persists, stubborn and resilient. Human adaptation is remarkable. Children grow strong in ways that defy outsiders' assumptions. Adults develop routines, skills, and endurance that would seem impossible elsewhere. Ingenuity is essential. Heating systems are improvised, ice is harvested methodically, clothing is engineered for maximum insulation. Every day is a lesson in survival, but also in community, ingenuity, and the extraordinary capacity of humans to adapt. Social life continues despite the isolation. Festivals, family gatherings, and cultural events are scaled to the environment, but no less meaningful. Music, dance, and storytelling thrive indoors. Technology, too, is a lifeline. Phones, radios, and computers connect families to the world beyond the ice. Yet technology is secondary to mastery of the environment. No device can replace knowledge of frostbite prevention, ice navigation, and fuel conservation. It is not optional, it is mandatory. As winter stretches on, endurance is tested. Days blur together, each a series of survival calculations. Children grow up with a profound respect for nature, learning responsibility early. Adults carry the weight of constant planning, maintenance, and care for the vulnerable. Yet there is beauty here, crystalline forests, frozen rivers sparkling like glass, and nights illuminated by auroras that streak across the sky in surreal colors. The cold sharpens the senses, magnifies the value of warmth, companionship, and human ingenuity. Life at -71 degrees Celsius is a paradox. It is harsh, unforgiving, and sometimes terrifying. Yet it is also full of resilience, adaptation, and remarkable human strength. Families like Ivan's teach us that survival is not just about enduring the cold. It's about thriving within it, finding warmth in community, creativity in routine, and joy despite adversity. In the end, living without conventional water systems, without central heating, in one of the coldest inhabited places on Earth, is not simply about hardship. It is about mastery. It is about understanding your environment so completely that every movement, every choice, every breath is a calculated act of survival. It is about transforming a frozen, barren landscape into a home, a safe haven where life continues, defiantly, beautifully, and with purpose. Yakutia, in its vast frozen majesty, is more than a land of extremes. It is a testament to human resilience, to the courage and ingenuity required to endure the impossible. And in every melted ice cube, every fire stoked against the cold, and every child's laughter echoing in a heated room, there is proof that life not only persists in this frozen world, it thrives.